Hey ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of RAYNZ Gaming. Sorry I'm getting this out a little late tonight, guys, but I did want to make sure I gave you that daily video. Now today we're going to be taking a look at Jing Wei, and if I had it my way, I wouldn't be showing you this in arena because I really want to show a more long-standing game with her. So if you guys don't mind, I might do another Jing Wei game in the future, really highlighting some of the changes that they made. This video is going to be an arena video. It's not a how to play, it's just a gameplay. But we're going to talk specifically about the changes they made to Jing Wei and what they mean to you. Also the changes to Golden Bow, because they did make some changes to pretty much a item that completely adjusted the meta for hunters and made them extremely viable nowadays. I'm going to be picking up the second tier now, and one of the things you'll notice about it is that it doesn't provide crit anymore. But with Jing Wei, you don't need crit. That's right, because her number 2 gives you a static crit chance when you activate it, and it makes her basic attacks that much wider. It's I forget, the explosive bolts, I believe, is the name on it, and that's one of the reasons why this change is interesting for Jing Wei, particularly because of her ability to naturally have crit. And I wonder if that will put her up in terms of the value chart in these games, because of the fact that she could basically have a Golden Bow because she has her number 2. It's area clear as well, but it's also that area crit. It's just like doubled down. And look at this, Jing Wei getting trapped by the new Nox, and Hadabat gets the first blood. That's great for our team. I love getting that bump in gold. The 500 extra gold from first blood, always valuable. But again, let's get started. Let's get started, guys. Let's get into it. What are we talking about with the Jing Wei changes? What went down? Well, pretty much Jing Wei was considered a god that, you know, had a lot of mobility. Still does. Amazing mobility. Can fly from the fountain, for crying out loud. I mean, that's mobility enough. As I get the first kill onto the Universid. I love it. And I use my air gust to go ahead and try and get some attack speed. I see the Jing Chen there coming in for the spin to win, and I actually go ahead and beads out of that. I'm gonna beads to leave, I guess. That's what I'm going to go for. But Jing Wei considered very mobile, but again, very hard time boxing. And of course, that ultimate felt pitiful. The damage really felt pitiful on it. So they've done a couple of things to adjust that. Now, in terms of persistent gust for number 1, let's talk about just the general changes. They've upped her basic physical power per level increase from 2.5 to 2.7. So essentially, she's going to gain more power throughout the game. She's going to have better power scaling throughout the game. So she's going to hit a little harder. Her abilities will hit a little harder, as well as her basic attacks. Is that Hercules? Oh my god, I cannot believe he is not dead. I try and go out of it, and my agility actually gets caught in the middle with the Zhang Kui stun, and that's why I'm not able to get there. I throw my air gust up into the persistent gust up into the air. Well, I guess I throw it on the ground, and it gives me the chance to basically space out Zhang Kui so that he doesn't want to pursue me through that gust. A great way to do that. And again, when I do my how to play Jing Wei, hopefully on a longer video and something more like Clash, I would like to show her off in Clash. You guys will see how I use that to my advantage, but you could just witness some things here. The other change that they made was they increased the duration of attack speed buff from 5 seconds to 7 seconds. Now, I believe this is in reference to her attack speed buff that she gets from persistent gust. Now, that is the big key there. When she gets into persistent gust and it knocks her up, she's going to gain an attack speed buff. Now, the big aspect to this is that you have to then obviously knock yourself up into the air to do that, and that is technically CCing yourself. It's like, okay, you got to stun yourself to do that. So they're making that more of a payoff, right? To take that risk, they're making it more of a payoff, and I like that. And also, they're increasing the attack speed per rank. So it used to be a 25% flat buff. Now it's 40% max rank, 20% starting rank, and it will increase by 5% per rank. So 20, 25, 30, 35, and then 40% once you fully max that up, giving you probably a little bit of more incentive to max that number 1. Now, I'm still maxing my number 2 here for the increased critical strike chance, because I find that very good with early clear, and you may want to do that in more laning phases, game modes like Conquest or anything like that, as Chang'e is so low health. I hope you get caught, and you do. I've got my persistent gust available, but it's not a matter, because the Jing Shan has to go. She's already dead. I activate my agility to get there, but I see Chrono 648. It's got the damage, and that is a pretty cool skin too. The Grim Shadow skin, I believe, for Nox. I think that's the final reward for the Escape the Underworld event. And if you guys don't know, the last event is up, and you have to get 30 first wins of the day. So keep playing those random games. Keep going on to Assault, Arena, Clash, Joust. Check out all those things so you can get those wins of the days relatively frequently. This is one that's going to have you logging in quite a bit, especially because you can only, I think, get 5 per day. So make sure that you log in and get those wins and unlock, hopefully, the final prize, which is, I think, that Nox skin that guy has right there. So that's pretty cool. He might have bought a bunch bunch of other skins, and that's why. You only need 6 unlocks to go ahead and do that. Now, the Jing Wei gets basically annihilated by that Nox dash there, which does so much damage. We'll take a video on her in a second. And back to Jing Wei. Like I said, that's Persistent Gust. They've changed that. They've increased the attack speed scaling per rank. I like that a lot. Probably give you a good reason to upgrade that. And of course, you could build Jing Wei. I sometimes build her a Transcendence and some power. Those Persistent Gusts will hurt. That is going to do 500 damage, actually. And that's quite a bit. That's quite a chunk of a Squishy's life, especially since it CCs them. You could definitely get a basic attack off on that. If you got your Explosive Bolts active, it's going to crit as well. So that's all really good stuff, and it's going to put you in a good position. Now, obviously, Explosive Bolts pretty much not changed. They just changed the buff on that. Agility gets changed as well. That's her dash. Now, agility can be used from a knock-up from any source. So her own self knock-up can be used, and she could use it in any direction. So she can knock herself up and then dash away as we take out that Xing Shan, or she can get knocked up by Hercules. She can get knocked up by somebody else and then dash out of that any direction. Now, obviously, during this game, I'm more focused on explaining these things. So if I'm not dashing out of a Hercules thing, it takes a little bit more of an awareness, and I think it's something you gotta learn and know you can do. It's a new mechanic. No one's ever been able to do this, so it's not something that's trained. So if I miss all that stuff, guys, please, you know, just know that obviously that's something that you need to do. And even if I don't do it, hear what I say, not what I do. That's what I'm saying. Follow what I say, not what I do. And you can do that. It's very valuable. But what it also did when you used agility was it removed your basic attack movement penalty for 3 seconds. Well, it removed it for 5 seconds when you did exactly what I just showed you there. As you can see right now, I have a Fatalis effect. I am firing and moving at the same speed. That is essentially like Fatalis. I go up to my ultimate. It does quite a bit of damage onto the Scotty, and hopefully I'm going to get some assist change, and I do. Had about getting that kill onto Sydney Sidri. Now, I go ahead, like I said, and to engage in that fight, I knocked myself up with Persistent Gust and then used Agility, which you can combo off of. And that would mean the Persistent Gust giving me that right now, it would be 30% attack speed buffed, and also the 5 seconds of Fatalis effect from that. Now, the key change, what happened was, you used to, when you use Agility, just move. Right? You had to use the Persistent Gust and Agility combo, which took a lot of mana and had to really force you to knock yourself up. A little bit more dangerous to get the Fatalis effect. Now you get a Fatalis effect for 3 seconds after you use Agility, no matter what. So you can get that Fatalis effect to chase somebody a little bit more effectively from a close range. Maybe not use all of your tricks up your sleeve. Maybe not use your knock-up and then still do that. That's going to make her more valuable in chasing, a little bit more realistic. Not having to go all in on that chase. But then you're also, if you use the Persistent Gust and the Agility combo, you're going to get an extra second. So instead of 5 seconds of Fatalis, you're going to get 6 seconds of a Fatalis effect. And that's huge. Jing Wei is a great goddess to chase down other enemy characters and other hunters, especially if you get that upper hand with some crits on Explosive Bolts. You get a Wing Gust on them, an extra basic attack, a Persistent Gust on them, an extra basic attack, and now they want to run away. We could follow them off of that and have a Fatalis effect. They will not be able to keep up with you. Really, really strong. She's essentially got a Golden Bow and a Fatalis in her kit, which is pretty cool, and I think that makes her still a viable kind of a god with her mobility to be one of the top tier hunters in Smite. I think people are going to use her in some fantastic ways, and I'm still figuring out the best way to build her. She's got some great ability damage, but again, I'll leave that for my how to play, and we'll talk more about how to be playing Jing Wei in the future once she's settled into some of these changes. Now, like I said, you get that buff increase, so agility's got a big increase. That's a huge deal to be able to get that Fatalis effect just from a random agility as I knock up the Jing Wei there and basically just delay and make it uncomfortable for him to be chasing that soul. He's forced to Aegis out of his ultimate, and that's a good thing because he's not pursuing. Although this Nox is going to get taken down, we do help delay and space out these teammates, these enemy teammates from our team, and help our own character, I believe the Nox, not the Nox, the other character who was running away. I'm not sure exactly who that was. That was our Scotty, I believe. Oh, no, our soul, to escape. Now, the last thing that changed with Jing Wei before we get just into this game and start talking about it is a great combo from the Nox doing there, and I get permafrosted away, and I'm forced to ult out, which is always a great opportunity for you to get some safety, get some CC immunity, and then all of a sudden get yourself out into a better situation. The ultimate got changed as well. Perfect timing. It now does a lot more damage. Now, they've increased the damage from 200 to 500 to 220 to 580. So not only is it higher base damage, it's going to scale more and scale more per each rank than it used to do. It now increases about 100, about 90 each rank when it used to increase 80 each rank, and it's going to be that much more effective. You're going to have that much more value in leveling that up. I mean, honestly, like, the damage was so weak at the beginning. Let me know, guys. I mean, that are my Jing Wei players. Come on. the damage was kind of weak, and I'm really glad that they changed that. I think that's going to bring her more in line, and now I feel the damage is really there. I feel like if you get a good ultimate off, especially on the multiple players, you could change a team fight. You could really add a dynamic of your power, your presence to a fight as a hunter, and that's really cool. An ultimate like this that could be combined with some really amazing things like a Naja ultimate, Sobek plug. You look like a Geb ultimate as well. If you set these things up, even a Nox combo right there, and I beads out of the Jing Chan ultimate, he's got to be going down, and I do take him out with, I believe that was a chin size? No, I don't have chins yet, but that was just some damage. I get my agility there, and I head out, and I activate my explosive bolts to try and make sure if anyone wants to come hang out towards me, and of course I've got those cocked and loaded, and now the Scotty looks like she's in trouble. I don't have any agility or persistent gust, so that Fatalis effect is not going for me, so I can't really chase that, but I activate a sprint because my main man Hadabat there, the Arachne, is actually taking a little bit of a dangerous path there in between a Hercules, a Zhang Kui, and a Jing Chan. Not the most comfortable path to walk through in this Smite game, and I pop up as Jing Wei and go into a very bad spot. I'm immediately ready to ult, actually persistent gust agility combo out of the way there, because I do not want to be in the center. One of the dangers of landing as a Jing Wei into the middle of the fray. Sometimes you can land behind people, sometimes you land in the middle of some deep shiz, and you don't really want to be there, and that's something that I realized quite immediately. So persistent gust, agility on out of there, bro. I ain't staying around. Come on, man. If everybody's getting killed, I'm gonna be that guy that tells the story. Man, it's horrible how everybody got killed. I'm not gonna be that guy that got killed, okay? That's not me, okay? Every black dude in horror movies knows it's just like something we've been built up. When you hear a noise in the basement, you just run out of the house. That movie doesn't continue with typical black people, because we're just like, I'm not gonna die, man. I'm not gonna have a horror movie made about me. I'm gonna be that dude that was almost in a horror movie that almost got massacred, okay? and told the tale. I'm gonna get the TV and the movie rights because I got the tale. I was a first-hand experience there. I'm sorry. I've just had to make that joke that's always been made, black people in horror movies, but I got to bring that to the channel. But anyways, I love that. I love the changes that have been made to Jing Wei, and that's pretty much it. We've covered it all. I now want to talk about Golden Bow a little bit, so you guys know what happened. Pretty much, Golden Bow. The reason Golden Bow got so effective is because the second tier of Golden Bow, which is you buy items in tiers. So first, second, and third tier. As I ultimate immediately out of there, and the damage I put on there was tremendous. I hit all 5 players, and that was absolutely a phenomenal ultimate by me. Not only to get out and make myself immediately safe and CC immune, but to put all of that group damage on there, it's huge. And now, also, the build that I'm using, you might be like, dude, Wind Demon, is he really building Wind Demon? Yes, I'll talk about that in a second after we get to Golden Bow, as I go ahead and annihilate this Hercules with the help of Hadabat, and that damage over time takes him out, plus a Ballista Bolt from our tower is going to do the trick. Now, Throwing Dagger was a huge introduction because it got buffed, and it made the clear from hunters really, really good. So good that they could actually out-clear almost anybody and became a threat. They could play mid lane, they could play solo lane, and of course in the dual lane, everybody just jumped up. So they made a lot of hunters more viable. Even hunters who had bad clear became relatively good, and so gods like Apollo became literally like top tier gods after not really being big fixtures in the meta early on. And so what they've done is they've taken away some of the essential aspects that we've seen be so game-changing about the Throwing Dagger, the second tier before you buy the full Golden Bow, and they've actually added and changed the Golden Bow, the third tier, so that's a little bit more rewarding if you go the full route into building that item, because a lot of people were just building the second tier and moving away. What did the second tier do? What it did was it gave you crit chance. It gave you crit chance, but it also gave you a very high amount of power, and it allowed you to basically clear waves in an area. So like Jing Wei's explosive bolts, how they activate in an area as I take out the Jing Chan there, and I'm 4-0. I'm doing great. I want my ultimate just in case I need to be safe. It would allow you to clear in an area, and your clear became absolutely astounding. So your early game became so much better as a really good Aegis from Scotty to survive that long and actually make it back to base. I have to agility out of there because I don't want to be in this fight, but I'm 4-0 in 17. This is a pretty good game so far. And so what they've done now is taken out the crit from Golden Bow. So the second tier of Throwing Dagger, the second tier of Golden Bow does not crit. And so that is a big change. It still does the area damage, but it just will not crit and do that area damage. We would see players like Oceans, the new hunter from Team Allegiance, actually crit and throw his on her impale to get a first blood within like a minute on Cyclone Spin, one of the considered best players in the SPL, and it just threw them out of nowhere. Like, these things didn't happen until Throwing Dagger was introduced, because this early game crit possibility with the clear was so unheard of. And so now it's really been something that they've looked at, and they're making a change to take away the crit and reduce the power. So the power, excuse me, they've reduced the they've increased the cost. Okay, so they haven't reduced the power, they've actually increased the power from 22 to 25, and they've increased the cost from 1300 to 1350. Now you may be saying, that's not very much. What that really means is early game, you're going to be able to buy 3 pots instead of 4, and that could be a big difference in terms of your sustain in lane. And that's the point that they were trying to make with that, to make you make more of a conscious decision. Do I want to go for Golden Bow, or do I want to go for some more sustain in my lane? What do I really want to invest in, and what's really going to save me, and what's my strategy for that? So I like it because it's a little bit more of a, grants a little bit more element to building and strategic building. As you see, I hit the Jing Wei for 405 damage there. Quite a lot of damage. He is almost going to get out, and I am not going to rush him because of the Jing Chan here. I do not want to die again. I'm doing pretty hot, and I just do not want to do it. And I throw my Persistent Gust. I knock 2 up. I hit a couple of crits with Wind Demon, which is really, really strong, but I get Jing Chan ulted here, and I just may die. I don't want to pop my sprint in case I'm going to die. Now I'm running to the left, and I actually hit a kill onto the Chang'e, and I use my agility to get away. I throw my Persistent Gust up, and I must have knocked the Hercules up as well, who's still pursuing me. He driving strikes me to within 113 health, but I'm able to get away. He doesn't have his ultimate, thank goodness, and I am able to escape. Look at that. And now I'm grabbing Chins to finish this build off because of the passive, the attack speed, but the passive being helpful against these very tanky characters in Jing Wei, Hercules, and Jing Chan. The passive being that I will take off 4% of the god's maximum health on every basic attack. So you see that 52 damage that I'm hitting, 52, 64, that's 4% of that god's maximum health, and that means that I'm going to basically be hitting them, although it's mitigated by protections. I'm going to be hitting them for a lot more, especially the tankier characters, and that's who I'm going to be focusing on here. If I really wanted to maximize this build, I probably, instead of building Wind Demon, would build some penetration. That way I can basically do that much more damage against these protections that all these physical characters have. A lot of this health, I'd be able to go through it a lot easier, but I'm not. I chose Wind Demon for the anti-healing, which nearly every god on this team, except Scotty, has. So that was my choice for Wind Demon. One of the only times you'll ever really see it become really, really valuable. And you see, that's the attack speed buff. Wow, that is hitting fast. If you can see that, that is 40% increased attack speed after already having an Ichaival, an Aussie, a Chin Sais. That's a lot. Wait till I get Odysseus' bow on this thing. I hope I do. And we're just dominating this game. Now, Throwing Dagger, like I said, got that nerf. It got a little cost. It increased the power, but the cost is less, and they took away the 10% crit chance. But what also happened was they increased the power of the actual Golden Bow, and they increased the movement speed from 5% to 8%, and they took away the critical chance. So again, you're not going to be critting with Golden Bow. You're going to get the area of effect, but you're not going to be critting anymore, but you're getting more movement speed. And so for characters like Jing Wei, it still may be very relevant because, of course, she hits in an area, and of course, she's got that explosive bolts, which can crit in that area. So she's already applying the crits in the area, and now she's going to be able to use the Golden Bow's area of effect damage to really help her clear. I find this with Jing Wei, it may still be very viable, and you may see Golden Bow picked up still on the character, but they're making people go more into the route to get the extra movement speed, to get the extra 5 power that the full item is going to give, and I'm really interested to see how it's going to pan out. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, how the change is going to pan out. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it, and hopefully we can, make a nice prediction. I pop my power pot here, and it's time to go into the fight. The Nox ultimate hits too, and now it looks like this guy's in trouble. I want to hit her. I want to crit on everybody, so my Wind Demon procs, and I'm looking like I'm critting on both of them. The Jing Chan almost pulls me, but it's not enough, and I do not miss. I actually do get missed by the Hercules knock up there, and Jing Chan just runs into the fire. He's like, I'm done with this. Let me get anywhere away from a full 5-man team in this bonus round. Not one of our players died, and that was really awesome play. I want to look at the damage stats here and see how much I did because it seemed like a lot. And look at this sexy dance and this great music here. Look at that, Jing Wei, another tier with the music in the background, and I do like it. It's a nice little vibe. Let me know what you guys think about this vibe. I pretty much enjoy it, I gotta say. I always have like this thing about the music in the background. Sometimes it's very obnoxious to me. I don't know, like, sometimes it's very obnoxious, but this is pretty cool. I mean, again, if I hear this 1,000 times, might be annoying, but this is the victory dance, so I feel like when you play it, it's going to be associated with, like, a good thing, so maybe it'll grow on me. But again, Wind Demon, you see there, my critical hits reduce healing on enemies by 40% for 8 seconds. That is why I picked that up. All 4 of those players, Zhang Kui with his number 2, obviously Hercules and all that, but 45,900 damage, 300 away from Soul. Topped everyone on their team, even topped the new Nox who went 14-3. Pretty amazing damage with this build, this play. Again, you see 31st wins of the day will give you Escape, the third quest on this Escape from the Underworld event, and Wave Dash, man. Ask Jing Wei used agility after being knocked into the air by an enemy god, so apparently I did use it, even though I was talking and not really paying too much attention. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Let me know what you think about the Golden Bow and Jing Wei changes in the comment section below, and how you think they'll affect Smite, your own builds and your gameplay, what changes you might make, and what changes you expect to see in the SPL and other players that you come into contact with throughout your games this week. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and if you'd like to support me, please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more stuff like this here at RAYNz Gaming. Next video, stay tuned, because I may have a sponsor aligned with some of my content that I think is going to be really cool, and so I want you guys to maybe anticipate that and think about maybe checking that out and supporting in that way, because it's always helping, and it's all just helping me to do what I'm doing here more consistently, more effectively, and all of that good stuff. And if you want to follow me on Twitter, I'm giving away some SBL season ticket codes at RAYNz Gaming on Twitter, so go ahead and follow me on there if you guys want to get a part of those codes. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and I'll see you guys next time.